What's up, everybody? Today we're doing a Pokérogue sort of challenge where it's me and Leo. We're going to play a run each and see who can get the furthest. Some of my starters, I don't know what I really wanted to pick, so I went with Fuecoco because he's a great, powerful, dual type Pokemon, good attacks. Can't go much wrong with that, right? And then I was sort of thinking, I need to spread out my type, so I need a fire, a grass, and a water, just in case, I get sort of into trouble with some of the rivals later on. So I went with Bulbasaur, as he was the only sort of grass Pokemon that I could use, as you can only use 10 points at the start of the game. I really didn't know what to choose here, so I was thinking Mudkip, but at the same time I was kind of sort of weighing up pros and cons of each starter. In the end, I decided to go for Sobble because I liked his speed stats for when he evolves into an Inteleon. So I thought, might as well pick him and see where it goes. And these are the three Pokemon I started my run with.
And to start off my run, I also started with sort of the same starters. I went for Fuecoco because he's a good fire base attacker. I went for Sprigatito because of his agility and quickness in his moves. And then I had no points left, so I just went for Chikorita and hoped that I had a good first battle with the rival, so there was no fire types or anything like that.
Okay, so I begin my run by encountering an Ekans, not a very good Pokemon, level 2. My main objective at the start of the game was to level up Fuecoco as much as I could. So in the time between picking items, in this case I pick a Super Lure, just to get those double battles flowing for XP. Kill a Wurmple, I'm not going to use it in my team, so I just thought, get him one out of the way, same with Rookity. Not a massive fan of the Pokemon, isn't going to do me very good in the long run, so I thought XP was my main goal here. My Fuecoco level's up there, and I pick Great Balls, as, wasn't much I could do with the other items. And this is where I bump into, after I just put Chilling Water on my Sobble. It's the only one that can learn it, nice to have. I bump into my first trainer. Okay, so last Sally starts to battle out with a Caterpie. Obviously my Fuecoco is super effective against this Pokemon, so obviously not much of a challenge for me there. So far going good. Fuecoco grows again, learns Round. Not a very good move. She sends out a Wurmple, which I destroyed again. Not much luck for her there. I mean, Fuecoco is just beasting through these bug Pokemon. I get a bit of money for winning, and I spend it on nothing yet, I don't think. Yeah, I pick a berry because, again, not much I can do with the other items, and I keep trudging forward.
So I start off my run and I encounter Rattata, which I make quick work of with my Fuecoco. I then get my first item as Rogue Balls. It's pretty rare, actually. Quite surprised. I also make quick work of the Nincada, and I choose a rare candy to level up my Fuecoco. So right here, I get my first important moment of the video, and I do end up catching the Zigzagoon, which I catch in hopes of it having pickup, which it doesn't. It has Gluttony, bad luck, but we move on. So right here, I get my first TM, Overheat, and I give it to Fuecoco instead of choosing the rare candy in hopes it does some decent damage in the future. I then also encounter another Zigzagoon, which I do end up deciding to catch in hopes it has pickup once again. And this time it did. It has pickup, which can be good for picking up berries that drop by opposing Pokemon. I choose some more. Oh, I heal here. My bad, my apologies. I heal here, and I keep healing. I heal my Zigzagoon that I just caught, and I choose the money here because it's good in the future for some heals. And right here, I get my first trainer battle. So it first sends out a Lillipup. I send out my Fuecoco. I use Ember here, and I try and just whittle it down before it ends up killing me, and I do end up doing that. Fuecoco tries to learn a move here. I forget Leah in place of Bite, or Round rather. Round, which is a very good move. And it also then sends out a Zigzagoon, which I use the new TM on. I use Overheat, and it one-hits. And that will end the first trainer battle that I encounter this run.
This is my first double battle, and immediately I had my eyes set on Lillipup. This is because Lillipup has an ability called Pickup, which allows me to steal random berries, well, a chance to steal random berries. I like those odds, so I switched to my Sobble. Sobble, I used Chilling Water on Taylor, as Taylor is super effective against my Bulbasaur, which I switched out, so I was worried that it could kill one of my Pokemon and I'd have no choice. Chilling Water does about half its health, and Lillipup increases its attack and special attack, making it stronger against my Pokemon. I use Ember on Taylor, which knocks it out, which makes me confident in that I can catch this Lillipup. I'm scared to kill Lillipup, so I use Round, and then I use Pound, rhymes, on Lillipup, and this does about half its health. So I am now confident that I can catch it with a Pokeball. Not. The Lillipup breaks out and uses Tackle on my Fuecoco. However, I try a Great Ball this time. Does it work? It in fact does. The Lillipup does not have Pickup, so it was all in vain. But my Fuecoco gains XP, my Sobble gains XP, and yeah, I'm in a good place now to move on with my run.
So in my mind, I thought if Lewis's run was going well, then mine had to be as well. And I heal up my Fuecoco, and I get into my first double battle and immediately encounter a shiny Shroomish, which was absolutely beyond me. I freeze up a little bit here, a bit stunned, but we do end up moving on. I stick with Fuecoco and Sprigatito, and I Ember the Weedle in hopes that it dies, and I think I'm still a bit flustered here, I don't know what I'm doing, and I select Tail Whip to maybe lower the opponent's defense, and that hits, which is very nice for me, and the Weedle does end up poison stinging my Sprigatito, which takes his health down, but I Ember the Weedle. It's getting a bit low at this point, and my plan is just to kill the Weedle, catch the Shroomish, because there's a thing in this game called Shiny Luck, and when you catch Shinies, your luck with items and other shiny Pokemon ends up going up. So I kill the Weedle eventually, I whip it down with Ember, and I can immediately switch to my Rogue Ball. I'm not losing this shiny, and it rolls 3 times, and it catches, and it's got very good IVs in terms of tanking, so that could be very useful in the future for tanking a big hit that maybe my carry can't take.
Okay, so I know what you're thinking. Why Caveman Brain look at Ice move for so long? The answer is exactly that. I have a Caveman Brain. So I picked the special attack, complete disregarding the haze, and it is my first rival battle. I skipped through all her waffle because I couldn't care less. She sends out a Mudkip. This is where I could care less because my Fuecoco is obviously weak against water type moves. I switch in my Bulbasaur. Mudkip uses Water Gun, which isn't very effective, and I get to use Vine Whip. It switches. And it's not very effective against a Starly. And Starly is a flying type, which hurts my Bulbasaur a lot. So I switch back to Fuecoco. Starly gets to go first every time because it uses Quick Attack. I use Ember, nearly knockout, near enough. I don't want to waste Ember here, so I use Round, and it switches back to Mudkip. That works nicely in my favour. I switch to my Bulbasaur. Again, Mudkip uses Water Gun, and I use Vine Whip. And I Sport the Ball, I would say. Right in there is very effective against my Mudkip. She withdraws because she doesn't want it to die. However, they are both on -1 HP. Starly faints. My Bulbasaur's doing great here. She sends out Mudkip, and as you can imagine, I use Vine Whip. Kill it. Mudkip goes down. And that is the first rival battle out of the way. Bulbasaur levels up quite a bit here and learns Growth. Great, kind of great for me. Growth is like a special attack / attack upgrade, so you know, not the end of the world. She waffles a bit more here. I don't really care. She lost. I guess. I get a bunch of XP, charms, shiny charms, all that good stuff. But other than that, I pick my item, which I think in the end, after I heal my stuff, I choose the potion because who can say no to a free potion? So at level 8 marks my first rival battle, and these are usually pretty tough, but we move on. She chats a bit before we start, and it sends out a Trico. I send in my Fuecoco.
So it has speed on me, so it uses Leafage, gets the first hit in. I use Overheat, it actually misses. I hate the RNG in this game, but I use Overheat once again, super effective, knocks out the Trico. My Fuecoco gains a level, and his special attack harshly falls because of using Overheat. That's what it comes with the price with. But it says that Fletchling, and me and the Fletchling exchange a few hits, and I decide to switch out to one of my Zigzagoons here. Probably not the best of ideas, it's only level 3, but it uses quick attack, has the speed on me. I try and get one tackle off, but it has quick attack, kills me. But I take it as a reset of tempo, so after the Zigzagoon faints, I send back in my Fuecoco, and I use Round here, quick attack. Obviously gets the speed on me, I use Round, almost dies, uses quick attack again, I use Round, and the Fletchling goes down. And I think that's all the rival has to me. She obviously is salty that she lost. I would be too if I lost at level 8. I get Super XP Charm, an XP All, Catching Charm, Shiny Charm, and Ability Charm as a reward for winning this battle. I heal up my Fuecoco, and I heal it up again, and I select a rare candy to give it to Fuecoco.
After picking up a Super Law to get XP, I bump into this thing. What a challenge. I was going to switch my Pokemon, I didn't. Blipbug uses Struggle Bug. I use Ember. Typing is overpowered here. Super effective, obviously. It uses Struggle Bug again. Shocker, not very effective. My special attack falls. I use Ember. It dies. A pretty easy boss battle, I would say. So right here I run into my first round of boss Pokemon at level 10, and it is a Pidgey and a Purloin, and I keep in my Fuecoco, I switch my Sprigatito for a Zigzagoon, and it's only level 3, which is not going to be very good for this, but I use Tackle on the Pidgey, and Purloin fakes out my Zigzagoon, and it quite embarrassing, but my Ember hits on the Pidgey at least, and I send in my Sprigatito because it's got good speed. I decide to Ember the Pidgey here, and I decide to use Leafage on Pidgey as well. In hopes to just kill the Pidgey and move on to the next Pokemon. This is absolutely tragic in terms of my levels, because they out-level most of my Pokemon except for my Fuecoco. But I decided to start whittling down the Purloin, try and get it past half health, because in boss battles at half health, if it gets to half, one of its stats randomly raise, and it doesn't go below that thing unless you have a multi-hitting move. So I switch out my Sprigatito for my shiny Shroomish that I just caught, and Purloin uses Sand Attack, which is quite good actually because it doesn't actually deal damage. So there we go. We get Purloin to its halfway point, and I decide to ball it and catch it in a Great Ball in hopes. Catch it, it catches, and this is good for type indifference. Ivy's not great. Fake Out's a good move. Scratch, Growl, and Sand Attack. Not the best I could ask for, but I decide to keep it anyways, and I send out one of my Zigzagoons to make room for the Purloin. And I forgot which one actually had pick up here, which was tragic. So I'm stuck here struggling to think for a while, but I send out the top one in hopes that the bottom one has pick up. And so long Zigzagoon, I catch the Purloin. Everything levels up, Shroomish gains some points, and everyone obviously gains points because of the XP All, and we move on to the next level. So right here at level 11, I obviously get some levels for my Pokemon, and I decide to catch this Pikachu because I'm thinking about the type difference in across all the levels. I try to Great Ball, it breaks out immediately, which is not great. I tackle it here, and my Sprigatito uses Leafage. It paralyzes me, which I'm not very happy about. Pikachu avoids both of my attacks, which is quite embarrassing. So I just decide, you know what, let's Rogue Ball it. Doesn't work whatsoever. So I tackle it again. I use Leafage again. Thunder Shocks my Fuecoco. Leafage hits, and my Fuecoco's paralyzed and cannot move. I Rogue Ball it once more, spins 3 times, thank God, and decides to catch. And it has static, which is quite a nice passive because it's able to paralyze things without actually moving. So I finally decide to say goodbye to my Chikorita because it's the same type as Sprigatito, and a Pikachu joins the party. Whilst Liam was catching a Pikachu at level 11, my level 11 was killing a Zubat, which wasn't very important really. My Fuecoco does end up leveling up to level 10 though, and I get my first Ultra Ball rare item, which is a rare candy.
So, for the next key part of my run, I run into a Bidoof, and doing this in a voiceover, I really don't know why I decided to catch this Pokemon. It was late when we recorded this. I don't know why I caught a Bidoof. Don't ask. But I'm still paralyzed. He tackles me. My Coco goes kind of low. I Ember it. And I think I just Pokeball this, or Great Ball it. I don't know. I'd be stupid to use a Great Ball, but I use a Pokeball. It rattles 3 times. And I catch the Bidoof, which is... I don't know why I did this. In hindsight, this seems very stupid, but yeah, my Shroomish learns Leech Seed, and I get DNA Splicers out of a Master Ball item, which I think is a very, very small chance of actually happening, which is crazy. I think I'm a bit stunned here. I choose the DNA Splicers, and I again don't know why I do this, but I combine Pikachu and Sprigatito, and it becomes a Sprichu. I get obviously the achievement for getting the DNA Splicers, but I really don't know why I decided to splice these 2 Pokemon together. In hindsight, I probably should have spliced Fuecoco and Sprigatito, just so I could be very quick and also use Ember, get that off first every time. But, you know, game's the game, and I choose to replace some of Sprichu's moves. So I replace most of the grass moves and the normal moves with Thundershock and Thunder Wave. I think I decide not to learn Play Nice, and there's obviously Double Team. I think I choose Double Team over. No, I stopped trying to teach Double Team, and yeah, I think that does it for the moves. And then I immediately run into a trainer battle, and it sends out a Mawile. I send up my Fuecoco, and it uses Astonish. I use Ember. I almost one hit the Mawile, so I'm 1 HP, and it actually withdraws. The AI is actually very clever in this game, and knows how to withdraw its Pokemon when it's on 1 HP. So it sends out Pancham and almost kills me there, which is kind of scary. But I use Overheat and kill it immediately, which is nice in terms of progression. Most of my things start to level up. My attack falls as a result of using Overheat. And it sends out a shield on. And it gets to tackle off first. I use Overheat, and it survives on 1 HP because of Sturdy, which is not nice at all. So instead of letting my Fuecoco die, I switch to Purloin. It tackles me, and I use Fake Out, and it switches. Fake Out makes the Chikorita flinch, so I get another turn. And I use Sunny Day here in order to enhance the power of my Fire-type moves. I think the best bet would have just been damaging the trainer's Pokemon, but anyways, I decided to give Sprichu a turn here. It uses Razor Leaf, which isn't very effective against Grass or Electric types, and I think I use Thundershock here. Yep, I use Thundershock. It's not very. I don't know why I did that. Also, because it's not very effective, and I know that. But I think I switched to the wrong Pokemon here. I use Bite, which is a Dark type move, so it does decent damage. I bite again, and the Chikorita goes down. So the Chikorita faints. I gain some XP on all my Pokemon, and I wait for it to send out its next Pokemon. And the sunlight fades as a result of switching out Purloin. I bite the Mawile here. Not very effective, but gets the job done. The Mawile faints, and it learns Electro Ball, which, from my knowledge, is a good move. I always learn Electro Ball because I'm pretty sure it does loads of damage. So I think I don't know why I do this, but I think I take away Thundershock for some reason. Thundershock's a good stab move. I don't know why I did that, but
yeah, everything once again levels up. For Coco learns Incinerate, which is nice because it gets rid of berries and also does area damage. So if you're in a double battle, it will damage both of the Pokemon. But I did Incinerate, give it a round, and I think the trainer is beaten. Oh no, sends out Shieldon. I forgot about the Shieldon that was on 1 HP because it's sturdy. I leafage it, it goes down, and that is definitely the trainer done. Coming off the back of a few double battles, my Fuecoco finally decides it's time to evolve. I'm going to say about damn time here. Not super important, it turns into a Crocodile, but I bet you mine evolved for Leon's. So, for level 20, I encounter a gym leader, which is not very good, but thank God it's Cillian, it's going to be grass types, so we can breathe. Thank God. We're not going to go out on level 20, I don't think. So, I use Incinerate here, kills the Snivy, which is good because that's its main Pokemon, we sent it out first. Happy days, we level up. We get to level 16 and my Fuecoco evolves, which is actually quite nice. Because it turns into a Crocodile and has much better attack, much better speed, much better defense, and whatsoever. So it evolves into a Crocodile. It's actually good that it does that mid-battle because I can make light work of the rest of the grass Pokemon. My Sprichu wants to learn Magical Leaf, and I decide to get rid of Bite. Probably not the best idea in hindsight because Bite was flinch, but there we go, it happened. I'll choose that now. Cillian sends out a Pansage, and I use Incinerate, and it does in fact one-shot the Pansage, which shows how powerful Crocodile can be in the early stages of the game, especially against grass Pokemon. And Gym Leader Cillian goes down. And I get an egg voucher, might use them in the next video. Pokérogue decides to remind me that I was very, very hungry while recording this, and sends out Gym Leader Chili. Gym Leader Chili has a Fire-type Pokemon base. I'm not too worried about this because my Crocodile knows Bite, meaning that I don't have to use Ember on all these Fire-type Pokemon, like Tepig is doing to me, which clearly is doing so much for him. I'm pretty sure Bite takes out Tepig here. Unless he switches out, which he does. I'm a genius. It switches to Pansear, which probably does the same thing. I decide I'm fed up of playing the Bite strategy here because it's taking way too long and wasting my precious, precious time. I decide to use Water Pulse, which goes first and knocks Pansear out. Out of the equation, good for me. Bulbasaur grows. Again, not really too keen about that, but there we go. It sends Tepig back out. I use Water Pulse. It goes first, kills Tepig. Happy days. My Sobble grows to level 14, getting oh so close to that Drizzle evolution, which is also good for me. So Gym Leader Chili ends up giving me an egg voucher. May use that later on in the next video. I get a Super XP charm and we're on to the next stage. So right here, I encountered one of the special events at stage 22. And I played this on my main account away from YouTube, and I got something terrible, which it KO'd my my Pokemon straight away. But I opened it, and it gave me normal tools and items. So I have a Lure, Special Attack, a Nugget, and a Retaliate TM. And in the end, I go with the Lure. Move on. Shortly after wiping the floor with Konkani and receiving a long-ass game save, I bump into this. And at first I was unsure of what this could even be, but upon reading it, it is a training session. To make a long story short, you can battle one of your own Pokemon, and it can change a nature or abilities or IVs of your Pokemon. I decided this was not worth my time and decided to move on. To continue my chain of luck, I get a double battle. Obviously, looking in the top left, my Lure and Super Lore have obviously come into full effect here. My 1am brain thought it'd be a great idea to catch a Lombre, because who doesn't like Lombre, you know? Could be a good addition to the team. Not. He isn't very useful at all. I just thought because it's a second evolution Pokemon, it is better than all my others. I'm going to let this play out because me talking over this is a waste of time because you guys will figure out what happens. Rupert decides to use Rain Dance here, and as it starts a downpour, it kind of mirrors its mood because I make it my bitch with Vine Whip and it dies. After deciding I'm tired of whittling away at this Lombre, I try to catch it, and the moment of truth? It catches. Thank God. Terrible IVs, terrible ability, and terrible nature. But second evolution, so great. Lillipup grows to level 11, and Bulbasaur grows to level 12. He wants to learn Razor Leaf, which I don't think is a very bad investment, as Tackle's an awful move. So I quickly switch it out, and Bulbasaur does, in the end, learn Razor Leaf, as you can see. After deciding to fully heal my Sobble, I decide to go for the map as it allows me to be type specific.
So at level 25, I bump into Rival Ivy again, and she seems to be talking a bit less and a bit more nasty towards me. But yeah, sends out a Grovyle, which is the second stage evolution of Trico, and it uses Mega Drain on me. It's not very effective. It regains its health. I use Incinerate, and it survives on a little bit of HP. And I use Ember, it withdraws and sends out its Fletchinder, which is not great for me because my Crocodile obviously doesn't do much damage against it. So I send out a Zigzagoon, which it one taps with dual Wing Beat. It doesn't even have to hit a second time. But I reset the tempo, send out my Spreechew. Because I thought my Electro Ball would kill it. But yeah, I forgot it was a fire type and it killed my Spreechew. Which is a shame, because Electro Ball is great and its speed is also great, so not good at all. But it uses dual Wing Beat on my Crocodile. I use Bite, and Fletcher just survives on 1 HP. Wow, I love this game so much. So I've set up my Purloin, and now because it's on 1 HP, I can use Flail and basically one-tap everything that I have. Considering it also goes first, is great. It switches out to a Tropius just to rub the salt in my wound. It switches to a goddamn Tropius. What are the odds? But anyways, can't complain. It uses Gust, super effective against my Shroomish. Stun Spore doesn't affect Tropius. How lovely is that? It just kills my Shroomish with no problem at all, no damage taken. Send in my Crocodile. I use Overheat here, and it avoids the attack. It misses. Uses Leaf Storm, not very effective. Its special attack harshly falls. I use Overheat once more, and it kills the Tropius. Look at that. After all that damage it did to me, it goes down with 1 Overheat. My special attack falls, sends out its Fletchinder, and it uses Flail and kills off my Crocodile. What an absolute disaster on level 25. Kills everything with the move Flail. But yeah, that's where my run ends. Let's hope that Lewis's doesn't go any further than level 25.
Unbeknownst to me, this was the worst battle I could have possibly faced up against. You see the Magikarp and you think, okay, not too bad. But Flamigo, oh my gosh. What a troublesome Pokemon. I didn't switch my Bulbasaur. Flamigo's a flying type. He uses double wing attack and instantly knocks out my Bulbasaur. I'm back against the ropes straight away. And I switch to my Lombre. Like the smart human being that I am. Lombre is also a grass type, and I'm lucky Flamigo didn't use double wing attack on me there. Crocodile uses Incinerate. Great, they're almost dead, right? That's what I thought. Lombre regained some health through Giga Drain, and I think this is where I realise that Lombre is going to struggle if I don't get rid of him straight away. My brain, for some reason, looks at Ice here and thinks, oh, that's a great type. I accidentally switch out my Crocodile and my Lombre dies. So, now what do? I mean, I've got a half-health Crocodile, a Zigzagoon, a Lillipup, and a Sobble. Not great, guys. Not great at all. I struggle to figure out what to use with Zigzagoon here. Wing attack takes out my Lillipup. And I finally take out his Magikarp. Why didn't I take out Flamigo? I do not know. I couldn't tell you myself. But I switched back to Crocodile because at this point it's my strongest Pokemon, even at half health. Flamigo uses double wing attack, knocks out my Crocodile. At this point, we're not looking good. I finally take out the Flamigo with my Zigzagoon, and we move on to learning Headbutt, which is a powerful move for a normal type. However, my Zigzagoon is level 14, so not great. As a player, you hate to hear that music, because that means it's rival battle time. And the rival battle for me was kind of a struggle the last time, so now everything is at its second stage evolutions, and I cannot keep up with that. He sends out Dracovish, which instantly, I mean, look at it. I mean, you know, that thing is going to absolutely destroy me. I try my best with Sobble, however, not realising that Dracovish is a water type as well as a dragon type. And Dracovish has Water Absorb, which means any water move that I use against it makes it stronger and heals it. Dracovish takes me out with Tackle, and at this point, there is not a lot of hope for me, as I have a weak-ass Zigzagoon and a Crocodile that is... as you can imagine, my Zigzagoon doesn't put up much of a fight against Dracovish. And I already know this run is pretty much looking over. Dracovish uses Water Gun against me, which I'm surprised didn't kill me. And I decide not to use Ember. Dracovish critical hits me with a super effective move. And just like that, my run is over. Thank you so much for watching our Pokérogue competition, if you will. Yes, it ended in a draw, but if you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.